Good morning. I'm Brother Wahlquist. I teach full-time at BYU Idaho in the religion department, and I'm thrilled that I get to be your teacher this semester for the Eternal Family class. I had an experience the last time I was in Rome, which was Thanksgiving of 2019. My wife and I spent a week over there, and the first couple of days we stayed with our former exchange student just outside of Rome. Beautiful olive orchards, wonderful Italian countryside. We just had an incredible couple of days with this family. They agreed to come to Rome with us on Sunday and attend church. They'd never been to a Latter-day Saint church before, and we went to the stake center right next to the temple in Rome. As we sat there early before church started, this wonderful sister kept turning to my wife, Michelle, and saying, "Where are all these families coming from?" A little family with 3 little kids sat right in front of us. A mom and dad with a couple of teenagers sat off to the side. And just repeatedly, "Where are all these kids coming from? Your church has your families come together to go to church?" She was not used to that. She was used to her and her mom and generally old people going to church. But to see babies and toddlers and teenagers, she was just floored by the idea of families attending church together. After church, we went to the visitor center. Had an incredible experience. A wonderful little missionary from Australia speaking Italian, another sister missionary from Albania speaking Italian, told them all about the temple, talked to them about the church, and then took us into a little theater room to watch a new movie. I loved it. They refilmed Jesus from the Bible videos calming the sea. In the Bible videos that we can watch online, you see Jesus and the apostles on one boat in the midst of the sea, and Jesus calms the sea and says, "Peter, where's your faith?" In this version, they split up the apostles, and they put Jesus on a boat with Peter and James and John and their families, and the other apostles on 2 other boats. So when the storm arrived, it's Jesus on a boat and the other apostles on their boats. Peter's wife was on the boat. We know from the scriptures that Peter was married, and his wife is panicking, and Peter is panicking. John gets washed overboard out into the storm. Finally, just as they go to wake Jesus up, the video cuts and shows the story of an Italian conversion story. A wonderful couple who had lost a baby, distraught and devastated by the loss of this child. And then they found the church. And they discovered that families can be together forever. And that they can be sealed together. And the peace that that knowledge brings. Then it cuts back to the video. Jesus stands up, calms the sea. Peter and his wife embrace. They're just weeping with tears. Jesus turns and Peter turns and they embrace, and then Jesus whispers in Peter's ear, "Peter, where's your faith?" And then I love it. Jesus grabs a bucket and starts throwing water out of the boat on the now beautiful calm sea. John comes swimming from back where he had been washed away. And the message is clear. Jesus can bring peace, and the gospel, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, can bring peace. After the video, they asked Sister Zolo, "What did you think?" And she went on for nearly 10 minutes about family and how she was so impressed that everything she'd been seeing and learning about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is about family. That's the Eternal Family class. I'd like to share with you as we start our class a quote from President Oaks from the November 2017 Ensign. He gave a talk called "The Plan and the Proclamation." He says 2 things in here that we need to take note of. First, he says that the proclamation is the Lord's re-emphasis of gospel truths. He goes on to say, "I testify that the proclamation on the family is a statement of eternal truth, the will of the Lord for his children who seek eternal life. It has been the basis of church teachings and practice for the last 22 years and will continue so for the future. Consider it as such. Teach it, live by it, and you will be blessed as you press forward to eternal life." Then he says, 40 years ago, President Ezra Taft Benson taught, quote, "Every generation has its tests and its chance to stand to prove itself," end quote. Then President Oaks said, "I believe our attitude towards and use of the family proclamation is one of those tests for this generation. I pray for all Latter-day Saints to stand firm in that test. I would like to start with my testimony that I know that the eternal family is a reality if we keep the covenants. And I testify that the proclamation is from God. Remember Doctrine and Covenants, section 1. What I, the Lord, have spoken, I have spoken, and I excuse not myself. And whether by mine own voice or the voice of my servants, it is the same. The proclamation is from the Lord, and I'm excited to get to study it with you this semester.